So I'm gonna start here by removing the top cover, which is held down by 3 8mm bolts. Now I'm gonna remove the air filter, and to remove the cover, just pull the tab at the top here, and the cover pulls down, and then you can just pull the filter out. So the filter housing has 7mm screws in the middle, and 2 8mm ones on the outer edges, and there is also a rubber hose at the back of the cover which just pulls off. And here's the carburetor. You'll see that it has 2 linkages. This is the spring linkage I will remove first. So I'm just gonna pull the carburetor out and turn it. And now I can pull the link out. Make sure to pay attention to the O-rings between the carburetor and the lawnmower, because sometimes they can fall down and you might not even notice them. 2 of these came out of the carburetor and 1 was already here. I'll show you later how to put them back. So to remove the gas tank, I'll just wiggle it side to side and pull it up, and turn the carburetor sideways a bit so the hose has more room to get the tank out. Okay, so now I'll remove the governor linkage, and I'll just pull on the link and turn the carburetor sideways. And now I can disconnect the carburetor from the gas tank by removing the clamp here, but before I do that I like to turn the carburetor sideways so the gas trapped inside of it can fall back into the gas tank. If you don't do this, gas will be trapped inside it, and it will leak if the carburetor is turned on its side once it's disconnected. I'm using pliers here to squeeze this clamp open, and then I'll slide it down. And now I can pull the fuel hose off. I just have to wiggle it side to side until it comes out. I'm holding the gas tank sideways like this because there's very little gas in it, it's less than half. But don't hold it sideways like this if it's close to full, because it will leak through the fill cap. You can either plug the hose at the bottom or drain some out to hold it like this. And it looks like not much gas is coming out of the carburetor, so most of it has come out. Before installing the carburetor, here are the O-rings in it. They just pull out like this. And this is the plastic one, and there's a rubber one behind it. Just make sure they're both in there because they can fall out. So I'm just pushing the rubber one back in, and just make sure it's evenly flush. And then I'm just pushing the white one back in now. So make sure that they're in there. Now I can go ahead and put the carburetor back on. So I'm installing the gas tank hose back on now, and I'll just push it back in, and then I can use pliers to squeeze this clamp, and then I'm gonna push it back on almost to the end of the hose. Before putting the carburetor back on, make sure that there is 1 rubber O-ring on the pipe here. And if you need a new carburetor, check out the link I have down in the video description where you can order one. And now I'm gonna connect the governor link. I'm just gonna push it in the hole here. And now I can slide the carburetor back on. So make sure to line up this plastic on the side with this groove in the metal here. And now I'll connect the tensioner link and then push it back on. Now I can reinstall the gas tank and just push it down in all the way. And I'm just gonna test the linkages and make sure that they slide smoothly and everything looks okay. Now I'll reinstall the filter cover. Don't forget the rubber hose at the back of it. So I'm just gonna connect the hose first. And just make sure that it's tight in there. And now I'm gonna put the screws back. Make sure you put the finely threaded screw on the outside here, and the coarse threaded screw in the middle next to the inlet. So I'm just gonna put the finely threaded screws first in. And now I'm just gonna tighten it very lightly. I don't want to break the threads. They don't need a lot of tension. And now I'll reinstall the coarse threads that go into the carburetor. So these are screwing into the plastic of the carburetor that's behind. Make sure to start both screws by hand first before tightening them down. Sometimes the second one doesn't line up if the first one is already tight. Now I can reinstall the filter, just push it back on. And then I can put the cover, and I'll start with the bottom part of the cover and then push it in, and then just snap it in at the top. I'm reinstalling the top cover now, and I'll pull the start cord a bit to make sure that it goes all the way in, and then I'll start the screws by hand and then finish them with my impact wrench on the light setting. If your lawnmower is still not starting, here's a list of common problems that might be the cause. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel.